A long time ago, in a small town, at a time when there was no internet, Emilio was born. When he turned 5 years old, something happened. That day, Emilio's family needed help. They have to leave him in someone's care. The good thing about very small places is that everyone knew each other and helped each other. The house closest to Emilio's belonged to Herman, a very serious and not very talkative man. Herman, like everyone else there, worked in the fields to feed himself, because in those days you have to work hard to eat. So almost everyone had their own vegetable gardens and everyone helped each other, which was a good thing about life going so slowly. That afternoon was one of those days which everyone helping each other. Herman had to unexpectedly stay with Emilio. That's why he had his cows grazing on the other side of the river. He loved his cows. He even had names for all of them, and he couldn't just leave them there all day. Although with the little one and having to cross the bridge to feed them, he didn't know what to do. Finally, he decided that he would take his beloved horse with him and Emilio would get on it. His horse was called Alma. When they reached the cows, Herman took Emilio off his horse and gave him a water bottle and a cloth bag with cheese and bread to give the little boy a snack. The cheese was from his goats, which he made himself. They both had a snack there while the cows grazed, happy and free. When they finished, Herman ran with Emilio through the flowers, and they rolled in the grass as if the serious man no longer existed. We all know that play and a child can open any heart. It was time to go home before it got dark, so Herman started to gather his cows so that they would follow him home, which they always did. As he was trying to ram them up, a heavy storm broke out. The storm seems to come out of nowhere, and Herman did not have time to make a plan. This was dangerous and a solution had to be found. The storm will scare the animals. Trees could fall because of lightning, and he was with a little boy. He had to take him home and get him to safety, but he couldn't abandon his cows. Herman started to get nervous because the cows were also very nervous and everything was out of control. And it started to rain so hard that he couldn't keep Emilio out in that rain. So suddenly, without knowing what to do, he grabbed Emilio and lifted him on the top of Alma. He looked the horse in the eye and told him to get Emilio to safety. Of course, it was a horse. The horse started to walk and Herman shouted, "Alma, go home!" He repeated these words 3 times. The horse whinnied and very slowly, but with a firm step, began to move towards the bridge without trotting too much, as if it knew it had something very valuable on the top of it, Emilio. Herman had told him to hold on tight to the horse's mane and not to let go until he got home. When Alma and Emilio arrived at the river, the bridge had collapsed, so the horse could not go over the bridge. It no longer existed as such. Alma seems to note that she was carrying something very important on her back, Emilio. So, with the greatest care you can imagine, she walked and put her little legs very carefully on every stone she could in the river that was almost like a whirlpool. I hope Emilio doesn't end up on the ground. Far away from there, Herman was fighting with the cows, trying to get them all to safety. Finally, Herman, desperate and nervous, arrived home. He pulled all the cows in the stable and put them under cover, while he shouted Emilio's name like a madman. When he finished and got no answer, he went to the back of the stable, and there was Emilio, calming and stroking Alma, still on his back. But he was no longer clinging on so tightly. Manuel came over and hugged them both, Emilio and the horse, because he knew that Alma could always be trusted. Remember, Alma could always be trusted.